lifted their voices in worship, stepped onto the stage, and never stepped down again. In gospel music, the stage is a sacred place, yet for some legendary ministers, it became the setting of their final moments. Today, we remember 19 gospel legends who passed away during live ministry, while singing, preaching, or serving before a watching congregation. These stories are not for shock, but for remembrance, reflection, and respect. Stay with us. 1. Pedro Henrique, the Brazilian gospel singer, met his end in the most poignant and public of ways. On December 13, 2023, while pouring his heart into singing his song, Vai Ser Tão Lindo, at a live religious event, the 30-year-old artist suddenly fell backward on stage. The audience watched in helpless shock as immediate efforts to save him failed. His life was tragically cut short by a massive heart attack right there in his artistic sanctuary, in the middle of a hymn of praise. Enrique's sudden departure sent waves of sorrow through the gospel community, where he was cherished for his powerful, uplifting voice and the sincere faith embedded in his lyrics. In the devastating aftermath, social media became a space for collective mourning, flooded with tributes that remembered not just his talent, but his kindness and the spiritual solace his music provided. His death transformed a routine performance into a moment of profound, heartbreaking finality, highlighting the intense physical and emotional vessel that carries such a powerful gift. This tragedy sparked urgent conversations about the unseen pressures and health strains faced by young performers in the demanding world of gospel ministry. While his family and fans grapple with a future silenced too soon, Pedro Henrique's legacy endures. His music remains a lasting testament to a life spent in devotion, offering comfort and a stark reminder that for some, the final, faithful note is sung under the very lights that first gave them purpose. 2. Bishop Kirby Brown, a beloved singer and church leader, was called home during a moment of celebration. On July 7, 2024, the 65-year-old pastor collapsed while leading the service for his 15th pastoral anniversary at Greater Deliverance Temple in Danville, Virginia. Though not on a concert stage, he was actively ministering before his congregation when he suffered a fatal heart attack, with congregants and loved ones witnessing the devastating scene as emergency efforts could not revive him. Bishop Brown was a pillar in his community, respected for seamlessly blending his powerful preaching with soul-stirring gospel music. His dual role allowed him to touch countless lives, offering spiritual guidance through both sermon and song. News of his sudden passing prompted an outpouring of tributes from fellow ministers, choir members, and fans, all remembering him as a man of deep faith and unwavering dedication, who poured his life into serving others. His death left a profound void in his congregation and the broader gospel world, while also raising difficult questions about the immense physical and emotional toll carried by those in ministry. Bishop Brown's passing serves as a sobering reminder of the quiet burdens of leadership and the fragility of life, even for those who seem strongest in spirit. Though his voice was stilled in an instant, the harmony of his faith and his music continues to resonate, offering a lasting legacy of comfort and devotion to all who were moved by his life's work. 3. Daryl Coley, the gospel vocal virtuoso renowned for his breathtaking 5-octave range, experienced a dramatic and prophetic beginning to his final health battle right on stage. In 2014, during a performance in his hometown of Oakland, California, Coley collapsed mid-concert, losing consciousness before a stunned audience. This shocking moment foreshadowed a valiant 2-year struggle, a period where the beloved artist demonstrated profound resilience, even returned before with the same passion that had defined his decades-long career. Celebrated for his masterful blend of gospel, jazz, and R&B, Coley's technical genius and deep spiritual conviction on songs like He's Right on Time influenced generations of singers. His on-stage collapse sent waves of concern through the gospel community, rallying fans and fellow artists around him in support. His subsequent return to the spotlight was a testament to his unwavering spirit, proving that even a failing body could not diminish the anointing in his voice or his commitment to ministry. Daryl Coley ultimately passed away in 2016 at the age of 60, but a memory of that initial collapse forever ties his legacy to the ultimate sacrifice of performance. His journey stands as a powerful narrative of artistry battling fragility, a man who poured out every ounce of his gift until the very end. The music he left behind remains a towering testament to excellence, ensuring that while his voice was stilled, its divine inspiration continues to resonate, an eternal echo of a man who truly sang until he could sing no more. For Kelly Nellen Clarke, a cherished voice in Southern gospel music, was lost in an unimaginable tragedy that silenced not just one, but 3 generations of a musical dynasty. On July 26, 2024, Kelly, her husband Jason Clarke, and their daughter Amber were among the 7 victims of a fatal plane crash in Wyoming. They were en route to performance, their ministry in motion, when the aircraft went down, transforming a journey of praise into a scene of profound loss for the entire gospel community. As a key member of the renowned Nellen family, Kelly was beloved for her rich vocals and her dedication to a legacy of harmony that offered hope and inspiration to countless listeners. The sudden collective loss of her husband, a respected musician, and their talented daughter sent shockwaves of grief through the tight-knit world of gospel, with tributes pouring in from fellow artists, pastors, and heartbroken fans who remembered the family's generosity and unwavering faith. This devastating event did more than take beloved lives. It starkly highlighted the very real risks faced by touring artists who traveled tirelessly to bring their message to audiences. In the wake of such sorrow, the surviving family members and the broader gospel world have been forced to lean heavily on the very faith their music proclaimed. Though their voices were silenced far too soon, the legacy of the Nellen family's music endures as a powerful testament to their devotion, a reminder that even in the deepest grief, the songs they left behind continue to offer a timeless message of comfort and eternal hope. 5. Mahalia Jackson, the revered queen of gospel, departed this world following a heart attack suffered in the midst of her divine work. In 1971, while participating in a performance in Germany, the legendary singer fell ill, with conflicting reports placing her collapse either directly on stage or in its immediate shadow. Regardless, she was actively engaged in ministry when her powerful body, worn by a lifetime of passionate service, finally succumbed. Her passing marked the end of an era, silencing a voice that had become a cornerstone of both spiritual and civil rights movements. Jackson's renditions of classics like How I Got Over and Take My Hand, Precious Lord were anthems of resilience and hope, providing the soundtrack for a nation's struggle for equality and earning the deep admiration of leaders like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The news of her death resonated as a global loss, with tributes flowing from fans, fellow artists, and activists who have been moved by her unparalleled ability to channel raw, sacred emotion. Jackson's tragic final note underscored the immense physical toll of a life dedicated to touring and transcendent performance, a toll she carried privately despite her public vitality. More than 5 decades later, her legacy remains immovable. Mahalia Jackson's recordings continue to stir souls, her influence echoing through gospel, jazz, and soul music, a permanent testament to a woman who built a kingdom of faith with her voice and left behind a spiritual inheritance that will never fade. 6. Andraé Crouch, the father of modern gospel music, met his heavenly reward in the very act of crafting worship. In 2015, the legendary singer, songwriter, and choir director suffered a fatal heart attack, not during a grand concert, but during a choir rehearsal. The 72-year-old pioneer was characteristically shaping the sound of praise, doing what he loved most. When it was called home, a quiet yet profound end for a man who revolutionized sacred music. Crouch's influence was nothing short of transformative. He masterfully bridged the traditional church with the contemporary world, gifting the global church timeless anthems like The Blood Will Never Lose Its Power and My Tribute, To God Be the Glory. His innovative approach earned him 7 Grammy Awards in the respect of icons across genres, from Elvis Presley to Michael Jackson, who sought his compositional genius. The music community mourned not just a brilliant artist, but a humble mentor whose spirit nurtured generations. Though his final moment occurred in the rehearsal space rather than the spotlight, It perfectly symbolized his lifelong devotion to the sacred work behind the music. Andraé Crouch's baton may have fallen silent, but the symphony he composed continues. His songs remain staples in sanctuaries worldwide, and his visionary blend of reverence and innovation ensures his voice and the countless voices he taught to sing will forever lift in praise, a living testament to a man who dedicated every note to the glory of God. 7. Troy Sneed, a multifaceted and passionate force in contemporary gospel music, left the stage for the final time in April of 2020. After delivering an impassioned concert set in Jacksonville, Florida, the 52-year-old artist became ill backstage and, despite rapid emergency response, could not be revived. His sudden passing at the height of his creative power sent waves of devastation through a community that knew him as both a dynamic performer and a visionary behind the scenes. Sneed's talent was boundless, first gaining recognition in the influential Youth for Christ choir before flourishing as a solo artist with chart-topping anthems like Work It Out and My Heart Says Yes. Beyond his own voice, his legacy as a founder of the label Emtro Gospel cemented his role as a crucial nurturer of emerging talent, producing award-winning music that shaped the genre's landscape. The outpouring of grief from icons like Kirk Franklin and Yolanda Adams underscored just how deeply embedded he was in the fabric of gospel music. His unexpected death sparked necessary and difficult conversations about the physical and emotional well-being of artists within the demanding gospel industry. Troy Sneed's final performance stands as a powerful symbol of a life spent in ministerial service through music. Though his voice was stilled, his rich legacy endures through the artists he mentored and the timeless songs he left behind, ensuring that his message of faith continues to inspire and resonate from the choir loft to the concert hall. 8. Olanda Draper, the dynamic and Grammy-winning choir director, left an indelible mark on gospel music before his life was cut tragically short in 1998. The 34-year-old visionary, known for his boundless energy and innovative fusion of traditional gospel with contemporary sounds, succumbed to a severe asthma attack. While his passing did not occur on stage, the suddenness of his departure at such a young age sent shockwaves to the tight-knit gospel community, leaving his renowned ensemble, the Associates, and countless admirers in profound grief. Draper had revolutionized contemporary gospel choir music with his electrifying arrangements and passionate direction, leading the Associates to a Grammy Award in 1996 for Live, The Experience. His genius lay in creating a powerful, fresh sound that inspired a new generation of choir directors and singers, making him one of the most promising figures in the genre. His passing represented not just a personal loss, but a moment where the future of gospel music felt palpably altered. True to Draper's own vibrant spirit, the Associates vowed to continue their ministry, transforming their sorrow into a living tribute to his vision. Though his baton was still far too soon, Olanda Draper's legacy is one of transformative sound and inspired leadership. His innovative arrangements continue to be performed worldwide, and his approach forever changed the landscape of gospel choir music, ensuring that his brief, brilliant life continues to resonate in every choir loft that seeks to blend reverence with revolutionary joy. 9. Reverend Donald Vails, a foundational pillar in traditional gospel music, met his end in a moment of shocking silence during a live concert. In 2003, the revered choir director and virtuoso pianist collapsed mid-performance in Atlanta, succumbing to a heart attack as the music abruptly stopped and audience members rushed his aid. This tragic event cut short the life of a man who had spent decades meticulously shaping the sound of gospel through his dynamic direction and innovative arrangements. As the founder of the renowned Donald Vails Chorallers, Reverend Vails set a towering standard for excellence in choir music, blending traditional sanctified power with contemporary sophistication. His work wasn't confined to the stage. He was a dedicated educator who mentored countless musicians, ensuring the technical precision and spiritual depth of the genre will be passed on. The Atlanta concert was meant to be another celebration of that legacy, but instead became his final earthly testament. Though his last notes were played unexpectedly, Reverend Donald Vails' influence refuses to fade. His musical children, the countless directors and singers he trained, carry his vision forward. His arrangements continue to resonate in churches and concert halls, a lasting testament to a life dedicated to discipline, harmony, and faith. His story remains a poignant reminder of the sacred contract between artist and audience, and of music's profound power to touch the soul until the very last measure. 10.
In a great way. The devil slapped in a great way.
Dottie Rambo, the legendary gospel singer and songwriter whose pen authored anthems of faith for generations, passed from this world following a final act of ministry. After completing a concert performance, the woman behind over 2,500 beloved songs departed, leaving a legacy that had already become the bedrock of countless church services and personal devotions. Her passing marked the quiet close of a decades-long career that earned her Grammys, Dove Awards, and, most importantly, a permanent place in the hearts of believers. Born Joyce Reba Luttrell in rural Kentucky, Rambo's journey from humble beginnings to gospel royalty was a testament to unwavering faith and prodigious talent. Alongside her husband Buck and daughter Reba in the Singing Rambos, and later as a solo artist, she gifted the world timeless standards like We Shall Behold Him and I Go to the Rock. Her unique gift was blending profound theological truth with raw, personal emotion, creating songs that served as both worship and testimony, resonating with audiences from small-town churches to grand concert halls. The news of her passing prompted an immense outpouring of tributes, not just for her musical genius, but for her generosity and resilient spirit, which had overcome tremendous personal struggle. While she did not collapse on stage, her death following performance underscores a life lived entirely in the service of song and ministry, right up to the very end. Dottie Rambo's voice may have been stilled, but her songs continue to offer a mighty, enduring echo, a perpetual source of hope and a towering monument to a life spent pointing countless souls toward the rock of her salvation. 11. Sean Jones, a beloved gospel singer and pastor, ascended in the most dramatic and faithful ways, mid-praise on his own stage. In a moment that forever cemented his devotion, the 45-year-old artist collapsed while passionately performing his signature song, Worthy Is He, at the Event Center in Pensacola, Florida. Eyewitnesses watched in helpless shock as he fell, and despite immediate medical intervention, he could not be revived, his earthly ministry ending in the very act of declaring the worthiness of Christ. Jones was not just a recording artist, but a shepherd, serving as an associate pastor at New Life Worship Center in Pensacola. His music, particularly Worthy Is He, had become a worship staple in many churches, celebrated for its powerful, declarative faith. The tragic news prompted an outpouring of grief and tribute from across the gospel world, with fellow artists reflecting on profound symbolism of his passing. Grammy-winning singer Jacqueline Carr noted that he had left this earth declaring the worthiness of Christ, framing his sudden death as the ultimate testimony. In the painful aftermath, his congregation held prayer vigils, singing his songs as a testament to his legacy. His family requested prayers, finding solace in the knowledge that his final breath was spent in worship. Sean Jones's story is one of shocking suddenness, yet profound purpose. Though his voice was silenced in an instant, the message of his final hymn continues to resonate, a powerful reminder that for this pastor and performer, the boundary between the platform and the pulpit vanished in a final, faithful declaration. 12.
And I really do believe joy somewhere.
Sister Rosetta Tharpe, the godmother of rock and roll whose fiery guitar and voice broke every barrier, did not meet her end directly on stage, but her final years were defined by the same relentless spirit that ignited her trailblazing career. After suffering a debilitating stroke in 1970, her mighty ability to perform declined sharply, though she continued to record when possible. While unverified accounts suggest she may have collapsed during a session, historical records confirm she ultimately passed in a Philadelphia hospital in 1973 due to stroke-related complications. Her revolutionary voice stilled at last. Her death closed a chapter on a life that had fundamentally reshaped American music, blurring the lines between sacred gospel, raw blues, and the emerging force of rock and roll. Artists from Elvis Presley to Johnny Cash proudly cited her as a foundational inspiration, and her recordings like Strange Things Happening Every Day became blueprints for generations. Even off-stage, her influence never waned, proving that the seismic energy she unleashed could not be contained by any venue or era. Though her final note was not sung before a crowd, Sister Rosetta Tharpe's entire life was a performance of miraculous resilience and groundbreaking faith. As her gravestone powerfully declares, she would sing until you felt it, and in the hearts of those she moved, across genres and generations, that music still plays on. Her legacy stands as a testament that true pioneers never truly leave the stage. They simply transform it, ensuring the ground they broke remains forever fertile for those who follow. 14. James Moore, celebrated as one of the greatest male vocalist gospel music has ever produced, was a man whose very being seemed to transcend physical limits when he stood before an audience. Born from the fiery soul of Detroit, Moore possessed a rare gift, a voice that could harness the raw ache of the blues and channel it into holy exaltation. Though he passed away in 2000 after a period of health struggles, his legacy is eternally tied to the stage, where his large frame and known infirmities would dissolve into a presence as light and ethereal as an angel, fully devoted to the moment of praise. Analyzing his musical style reveals a master of the peak squall technique, a raspy, powerful sound that could push a crowd into spiritual eruption with just one note. From the perspective of a cultural icon, James Moore did not merely sing. He performed rituals of emotional liberation, delivering masterpieces like I Am Thine, O Lord, with a voice that soared in defiance of all natural laws. On stage, he embodied total devotion, creating an intense, magnetic spectacle where every ounce of his being was offered up through song. His passing was an irreparable loss to the world of gospel, but the legacy James Moore left behind has become a sacred textbook for every generation that followed. He taught that a voice is not merely an instrument of technique, but a vessel for faith and hope. He is honored as a king of passion, a man who exhausted himself to warm the world with his gift. Though he is gone, his resonance remains a lighthouse, a powerful, enduring reminder that the truest art is that which pours out the soul completely, leaving a timeless echo of authenticity and divine fire. 15. Walter Hawkins, the revered pastor, composer, and architect of a smoother, urban gospel sound, passed away in 2010 after a private battle with pancreatic cancer. While his departure was not a sudden onstage event, it occurred in the quiet aftermath of a life spent tirelessly on the spiritual and musical stage, leading worship and shaping the very fabric of contemporary gospel. His death marked the profound silence of a maestro whose work had introduced sophistication, R&B harmonies, and classical elegance into the church, revolutionizing the genre in the 1970s and 80s. As the visionary behind the landmark Love Alive album series and the leader of the Love Center Choir, Hawkins crafted a legacy of timeless anthems like Change and Be Grateful. He was a revolutionary of mindset, viewing gospel not as music confined to church walls, but as a universal artistic language of faith capable of touching any heart. His voice carried a noble, gentle beauty that belied an immense inner power, and his meticulous arrangements set a new standard of professionalism that generations of artists still study today. Though he did not draw his last breath in the spotlight, Walter Hawkins lived his entire life in service to the stage of ministry and the studio of creation. His passing was a monumental loss, but the community he built and the harmonies he composed ensure his spirit remains vibrantly alive. He is forever honored as the chief architect of melodies that vibrate the human heart, a man who taught the world to find gratitude and harmony, and who used his gift to build bridges of tolerance, leaving behind a sanctuary of song that continues to offer shelter and uplift to all who enter. 17. Frank Williams, a pivotal and revered figure in the evolution of Southern gospel music, left a legacy of mentorship and innovation that was tragically cut short. As a key member of the legendary Williams Brothers Group and a brilliant talent scout and producer from Malaco Records, Williams was a vital link that brought the raw, soulful power of quartet music into the modern era of production. His sudden passing in 1993 sent a shockwave of grief through the gospel community, a profound loss for an industry that relied on his discerning ear and visionary leadership. While his death was not explicitly detailed as occurring during a live performance in the provided narrative, his entire career was an act of staging, building platforms for others. Williams possessed a genius for recognizing potential, famously propelling the Mississippi Mass Choir to global phenomenon status and shaping the very sound of modern gospel quartet. He understood that for the music to thrive, it needed professional sophistication without ever losing its ancestral soul, balancing the demands of management with the heart of ministry. Frank Williams' enduring legacy is not found in a single dramatic final moment on stage, but in the countless careers he launched and the musical empires he built. His passing left a monumental void, but he succeeded in leaving behind a clear path and an elevated standard for future artists. He is forever honored as an icon of Black artistic intelligence and devotion, a man whose greatest performance was the doors he held open, ensuring the powerful message of gospel would continue to resonate for generations to come. 18. Joe Ligon, the thunderous voice and electrifying frontman of the Mighty Clouds of Joy, fell silent after a lifetime of commanding stages with holy fire. In 2016, the gospel pioneer suffered a fatal heart attack, an event that, while not occurring mid-song, served as a final note in a career defined by breathtaking performance. His passing closed a glorious chapter for the quartet era, marking the end of a man who spent over 5 decades touring, shouting, and leading audiences into a state of spiritual euphoria. Ligon was a revolutionary showman who shattered barriers, boldly blending the fervor of the Pentecostal church with the smooth suits and slick moves of R&B soul groups. Under his dynamic leadership, the Mighty Clouds of Joy became the first gospel act to perform on Soul Train, winning Grammys and bringing the music of God into the most glamorous secular venues. His signature gritty roar could pierce through any orchestra, turning songs into transformative experiences and setting a blueprint for stage mastery that generations of singers would study. Though he did not collapse in the act of singing, Joe Ligon's entire existence was a performance of faith and resilience. His confidence and vocal power made him an uncrowned king, a pioneer who proved gospel could be both impeccably stylish and powerfully anointed. The mighty roar of his voice may have ended, but the joyful noise he pioneered continues to resonate. He remains forever an icon who brought a brilliant, unstoppable light of joy to the world, teaching us that devotion could be delivered with a sweat, a smile, and a soul-shaking shout. 19. Elder Goldwire McClendon, the Philadelphia gospel icon whose voice defied time, delivered his final earthly praise in the most fitting way, hours after leaving a stage electrified by his spirit. In his late 70s, the veteran artist performed with the vitality of a man half his age, bringing a house down with his signature anthem, I Won't Complain. True to his legacy as a living testament to perseverance, he offered what felt like a musical benediction, a final, triumphant testament to a life of service, before passing away peacefully shortly after in 2018. McClendon's story was a profound symbol of hope in an industry obsessed with youth. After decades of faithful service in local churches and with his group the Savettes, his late career renaissance on national stages made him a beacon for timeless devotion. His clear, resonant tenor and humble, joyful presence taught a powerful lesson: that true anointing and passion have no expiration date, and that a prepared heart will find its moment in the light. Though his passing was not a dramatic collapse mid-note, it was intimately connected to the stage he loved. Elder Goldwire McClendon exited this world on the crest of a worshipful high, leaving behind not a tragedy, but a completed testimony. His legacy endures as a powerful reminder that gospel music is a continuous flow, when maturity of the soul gives depth to every note, and where a faithful servant can indeed sing, with full conviction, until his very last breath.